You were given a document. You were given a constitution. You were given God-given rights that your government cannot step in. And I don't care where you come from or what you are. That always needs to be sacred. And we need to be vigilant to make sure, because our government is always want to abuse that, we need to make sure our government doesn't step over that. Thank you. I want your card before you. I'm interested.
Okay, Congressman. I just wanted to people know.
I'll repeat for anybody who can't hear.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, you got 13 cameras filming every word you say. It's no big deal. That camera is from Tammy Duckworth. Everybody right now, we need to make this original. Everybody turn and smile to Miss Duckworth. Hi, Tammy! Ask her to get out more. Those are from my lovely liberal super PACs who film everything I do. Go ahead.
I was wondering, I'm not sure if people are aware, there's a problem going on in Freeport, Illinois right now. There's a company named Sensata Industries.
Sensata Industries.
And they're owned by Bain Capital. And at the end of November, they're going to close down their factory and ship 170 jobs to China. And right now, at this moment, the workers are camped out across the street, and they're trying to appeal to Mitt Romney to see, like, if he could use any of his influence to try to stop the closing of this factory and trying to stop the jobs from being shipped to China. And so far, Mitt Romney has ignored them, or he hasn't acknowledged them. And they're camped out right now, and it seems like to contradict the image of him being like a job creator. It seems like he hasn't even acknowledged them. It seems like he's allowing 170 jobs to be shipped out to China.
And did everybody sort of hear it? A company called Sensata outside of Freeport?
Yeah.
About to lose 172
to China.
Jobs to China. I think maybe right now we can all cut Governor Romney a little bit of slack. He's a month away from a big election, so to maybe be focused on something like that might be difficult. Let's understand, and I don't know the specifics of the company. Mitt Romney doesn't create jobs. Barack Obama doesn't create jobs. Let's talk about where we started. We create jobs. American business create jobs. Primarily, small businesses create jobs. And generally, if we get upset that jobs are heading overseas, your anger and your ire should be at our federal government. Because our federal government has made it too difficult to stay here. When companies decide to leave Illinois and go to Wisconsin or Indiana, who do we get angry at? You're going to get angry at the company? Gosh, no. That company's got to do what's best for him or her and his family, for his employees, for the investors in the company. If the Illinois state government is going to make it impossible to do business in this state, that's where your anger should be. We are right now, this is such a great competitive world, and right now we are not giving our companies a competitive advantage. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the industrial world. Why? We tax companies a second time when they want to bring capital back here. Why? Our government's making it too hard. Our government's making it too hard. And I do believe those are reforms that Mitt Romney wants to change, which will make life a lot easier for these companies. But I'll look into...
He has a chance to save 170 jobs, and he's not doing anything, and he's making money off it. His company profits by the cheaper labor overseas, and he makes money personally, but he still has an investment in
I'm not familiar with the company, so I can't comment. I'm not comfortable commenting on what's going on with that company. I know when you look at Mitt Romney's record at Bain Capital, he's helped a lot of American companies that have created a lot of jobs, okay? So there's a more complicated, and I'd argue a fairly positive job creation record there, separate from government.
Mitt hasn't worked for Bain for more than 10 years.
Right, Governor Romney.
Mitt hasn't worked for Bain for more than 10 years.
I know. What else, guys? Yes, sir. Hold on. Hold on.
I have a question. Were you in favor of when President Obama bought the Thompson prison here in Illinois? And do you think, as a congressman, that you have been a voter, would you be in favor of Guantanamo? We're saying maybe some of the prisoners from Guantanamo Bay will be sent up here. What's your stand on
well,
that?
the question was the prison that the state just sold to the feds in northwestern Illinois. And there's always been the talk that this is where, remember when President Obama ran, he ran on closing Gitmo. And I'm absolutely opposed to closing Gitmo. And I think once President Obama got there, he was advised, you just can't do that. So, am 100% opposed to any terrorist coming here to be housed, imprisoned, or tried here. The worry is that now that the feds own that prison, that might happen. Now, I have a problem with how President Obama just sort of went on his own and did this. I have a problem with that. And I think when Congress gets back, Congress is going to have to, obviously looking into it, but going to have to be very vigilant as to how this sale happened. And, you know, maybe just ensure again that no terrorist in Gitmo or anywhere else can come here on American land and be held, imprisoned, or tried. And never let that happen. You see, let me just say this. I always want to be a little careful because my friends are always taping every word I say. When I say that I really believe we are at war against an evil, radical strain of Islam that's trying to kill us, I believe it. I caught some flack a couple months ago from my friends in the media because I said the threat is right here. I sit on the Homeland Security Committee. I know the threat is right here. Eric Holder knows the threat is right here. Janet Napolitano knows the threat is right here. It's also abroad. We were reminded of that in Libya a few weeks ago. Look, the other side has no respect for human life. Can we all agree to that? That's a fairly scary proposition. I'm going to do whatever I can to beat and kill that ugly, evil, radical strain. I'm not concerned about their rights and their liberties. My friend, those who are not American citizens. I'm not. They're trying to kill me and my kids. They're trying to kill you and your fellow Americans. I'm concerned with protecting Americans. I could give a darn about their rights or their freedoms or how we treat them if they're not American citizens. Until they put their arms down and say, look, I'm ready to live in the year 2012, but this radical strain of Islam is still living about 600 years in the past. And again, our media doesn't sufficiently get this. Yes, sir.
I have an issue that's kind of near.
I'll repeat it.
Close to whatever I'm doing right now. I am obviously in high school still, and
You're in high school? How about that? And here he is! Soaking up politics.
actually got both my parents to register to vote.
Good.
Yeah, but my question is, why is it that both sides are making teacher compensation and pension some kind of educational issue? Because I'm right there in high school, and these teachers work their butts off trying to get us to learn. And if the kid doesn't want to learn, he's not going to learn. So I'm kind of angered sometimes when both sides are calling teacher compensation and educational issue as if it's going to help. If they're not motivated, if they feel that everything's being handed to them, no student is not going to do anything, even if you put the class teachers in front of them.
Agreed. Agreed. I've spent a lot of time working in the education field. The two greatest indicators of how well a student's going to do in school are this: the education level of the teacher and the involvement of the parent. Both those inputs are more important than class size, than per pupil spending, than any other factor. So as long as we have parents that aren't as involved as they should be, as long as we have teachers that aren't as educated as they should be, and in the main, most of our rank and file teachers are wonderfully educated, we're always going to struggle with education. But it's an important issue. It's an important issue that I don't talk as much about at the federal level, because I believe education is a state and a local issue. Very much a state and a local issue. What else?
One follow-up point on that, one that gets me upset all the time, you can hear Barack Obama come on TV and talk all this about he's for education, I know a little bit because I served on the school board in District 2.
Yeah.
How much money do we get from the federal government? 3 or 4%? But yet all the mandates from the federal government cost our school district millions of dollars. That's the problem. Politicians are very easy for them to say, oh, I'm for education, but guess who's paid for it? The homeowner in this community, in this district.
Yes, thank you.
Look at our tax bill. The value of our house went down 50%, but our tax bill went up, and we're still paying 72% of our property tax bill to education.
Federal involvement in education has increased over the last 40 years. Per pupil spending has increased over the last 40-some years. And our public educational system is no better. And compared to the rest of the world, it's worse. So that makes me think, if we want to improve our schools, I want to keep local control. I don't want, this federal government mandating stuff. And the final piece is, I want to put parents in charge. I'm just going to say it. I believe every parent in this country should have the choice of where to send their kids to school. Public, private, religious, or home.
I pay twice. My kids go to Christian school and I pay my taxes, so.
I want every parent to have that choice. And I want the money that we all pay in taxes to support our public schools, I want that to follow that choice. I want a parent and not a government bureaucrat to determine where a kid goes to school. I want a parent and not your geography determine where you go to school. And I think if we empowered parents, rich, middle class, and poor, with this choice, it'd be a heck of a lot better for the kids, and this competition will be better for the public schools. Remember what Bill Bennett, Reagan's former education secretary, said in the 80s. Only in this country, only in America, if you make a lousy hamburger, you'll be out of business in a month, right? But in America, if you deliver a lousy education, you can stay in business forever. Why is that? Because the consumers of education, the parents, they don't have the freedom to vote. Especially our low-income consumers. I have spent a lot of my life working in inner city Chicago, working with poor Hispanic, black, and white parents. The vast majority of whom know what's better for their kids than some education bureaucrat or some teachers union official. And yet we don't give these basic parents the freedom to send their kids to the Catholic or the Islamic or the Jewish or the private school down the street or to homeschool their kids. No, we lock them and imprison them in public schools that don't deliver an education. This is a great issue for Republicans because the teachers' unions are dead set against parents having this choice. And the teachers' unions only support Democrats. They don't want parents to escape. Yes, ma'am. That's my 5-minute warning. Darn it, Kate. What else, guys? Welcome. Hey, you.